What's up, my fellow lionesses and lions? Welcome to the Project Lioness podcast, where we are here to disrupt the mainstream narrative when it comes to health, holism, and human consciousness. We are here to share bold truths about health and life from a female perspective. This episode is brought to you by our team, Inspire Co., where we stand for your health being inspired by choice rather than being inhibited by chance. Thank you for being here and joining in on these raw, real, and powerful conversations. We hope our show brings you inspiration and empowerment to overcome challenges, reclaim your life, and ultimately pursue your mission with power, purpose, and play. Now, let's get into the episode.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Project Lioness podcast. This is your host, Dr. Mel, and in this episode, I am going to give you stream of consciousness. This is for you entrepreneurs out there, for you business owners. If you're not an entrepreneur and you're not a business owner, well, let me tell you, you can still get some amazing results from what I'm about to share with you. So grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, sit down, and let's chat. Let's talk about the shiny object syndrome. What do I mean by this? Well, in today's age, when it comes to entrepreneurship and business, there are a lot of ways that the culture and business owners market. Could be meta, could be ads, could be the old school sending you flyers in the mail, could be Reels, TikTok. There's so many ways that people are trying to get in front of your consciousness. And I am part of that matrix. By the chances of you listening to this, you probably either know me personally or someone shared something with you via a podcast or YouTube. That is a form of marketing. And marketing does not have to be sleazy. It can 100% be authentic. The reason why I'm coming on here today is because I feel super inspired to share how to start to discern what is truly in alignment with something that you're looking for that makes sense to purchase. And or how do we know when we're kind of falling for a shiny object syndrome? And this comes from some personal experiences that I've had as an entrepreneur over the last 8 years and my experience and helping you learn how to mitigate some of those variables and prevent some of those mistakes yourself. Because trust me, as an entrepreneur, when you're in the game long enough, you learn that the best success comes from failure. I have made multiple different investments into things that sounded really good, that from the outside were amazingly marketed. It was flashy. It seemed too good to be true. And on the back end, there was shitty delivery. If I'm going to be honest with you, there was crappy delivery and it sucked. And sometimes that sucks. And it's part of our growth. It's part of our evolution. And it's part of feedback loops to help you start to discern and strengthen your intuition, especially when you're in the game longer. And again, this is for you entrepreneurs and business owners, but perhaps if you're not an entrepreneur or a business owner, this may serve you if you're in a decision-making process. Maybe you're looking to hire a, health coach or work with a different practitioner. Maybe you're looking to take on a new team member. Make sure that it doesn't seem too good to be true. And if it does, there's probably something there to listen to. When it feels in alignment, when these things feel in alignment, if we start with this consciousness perspective here, when it feels in alignment with your intuition, you can see both drawbacks and benefits. You can see both sides of a person, a situation, maybe a program or something that you're engaging in. It doesn't feel like this is all good, no bad. It doesn't feel like a fantasy. And it also isn't going to feel like this is a be all end all and it's going to save you. If you put all your eggs in one basket and you think that something is going to save you, my friends, that is a recipe for codependency and disaster and a way that we externalize our power. So number one, if you're in one of these situations and you're looking to enroll in something or you're in maybe a sales conversation or you're marketing yourself, make sure that from the outside, it doesn't seem too good to be true. And if it does, that's something to look at from a different vantage point, and your red flags may go off a little bit, and you want to look at this and say, okay, what about this do I need more information on in order to make an aligned decision so that I go into this decision and this choice with more balance and less frantic energy? So that's number one. Look at the consciousness, allow it to serve your intuition. Number two, if you feel like you're in some sort of situation where there's not a delivery on the back end of things, and this can happen all the time, my friends, I'm seeing it more and more and more. I'm also seeing a great awakening happen, especially in 2025, what I am predicting for 2025 is that this is all my intuition. I have really no external influence on this. And it's just something that I feel I'm seeing as a business owner, being in waves, seeing trends. I really do feel in the year of 2025, we are going back to the basics. We are going to be focusing on relationship building, serving people, getting results, connecting with people in person, and not getting so caught up in the fanciest marketing strategies or the fanciest ad funnels or the fanciest landing pages, or, who has the best ads out there? Who has the best Instagram page, right? Who has the most followers? Some of the people who have the most followers and have the flashiest marketing tactics, marketing strategies, oftentimes have the shittiest service and they get the shittiest results. Their onboarding is crap. And you can tell I'm a little bit charged about this. So, I'll shift my language a little bit. The follow through is not there. And I myself have been in relationships like that. And I'm sure people who have invested in me in some capacity maybe have felt this in their own way. Maybe they, felt that something was missing. And that's why I wanted to come on here and share, I am in this with y'all. So we want to look at, if it feels too flashy, do not be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to muster up the courage and say, hey, can you give me the details of this program? Can you give me, everything that's included? And if they can't, then that's something to consider. Not that maybe they don't have that energy and information for you. Maybe it's in the works, or maybe they're still figuring things out, but it's really important to hold people that you invest in, that you enroll in. It's really important to hold them accountable to what they're saying, not to create unnecessary expectations of what hasn't been promised and have these exceeding expectations, but rather to hold them accountable to their word. And like I said, I really do think in this year, we are going to be trending back towards people who are held accountable, people who say that they're going to deliver something, because we can't necessarily promise everything, right? Especially in the holistic healing realm or personal transformation realm. We can't necessarily promise everything, because at the same time, your clients do have to show up and do the work, right? We know that to be true. But I really do feel in 2025, people are going to be leaning into these more, because there is this veil that's being lifted. In 2020, we know that the world shifted a lot, and a lot of stuff went online, a lot of stuff went virtual, a lot of stuff went to the technology, and we forgot about what makes entrepreneurship great in the first place, which is people. In my opinion, your people, your community is your greatest asset. And so we swung all the way this way, and that was great. And people got a lot of success virtually. People got a lot of success online. And yet I sense and see this shift happening to balance out the flow, to balance out the energy. Not that we're going to totally dismiss all technology, but I do see what's happening is there's a shift back to the people, back to what business is all about in the first place, which is helping people solve a problem, which is helping people get what they want or what they're looking for in their life. If you are the person who's got what they want, or can help teach them to create what they want and to teach them over the course of their journey with you, not for them to depend on you, not for them to become in this codependent relationship, but to learn, to grow, to empower themselves. So that is what I see happening. And so with that, it's going to be vital for you business owners and entrepreneurs to look at this from a different vantage point and say, you know what, as a client, my requests and what I've signed up for, I am looking for integrity. I'm looking for people who follow through on their word, what their deliverables are. And if you on the other side are an entrepreneur or someone who delivers a service, focus on that. So number one, the consciousness of the marketplace. Number two, stepping into looking at having conversations and holding people accountable. As much as your coaches and clients and doctors and practitioners and guides and all these people who you hire are holding you accountable, you also get to hold them accountable to what they're saying they are here to deliver, and honestly, over deliver. My brother and I in our Inspire Business and Alignment Accelerator say that we are here to under promise and completely over deliver. And the truth is, my friends, I don't have the craziest marketing strategies. I don't have the fanciest stuff. Sure, I've got some marketing expertise under my skin, but I'm definitely not an expert. That's for sure. That's why I hire people to help me get my message out there in a way that feels authentic, so that on the back end, I can completely deliver and show up for my clients. And so the third part of this is if we are trending towards serving people and having people integrate with technology, not necessarily we need an either or, but coexisting, the question to you then is, where in your experience can you lean into your people more? Because your people, your community that you're building is your greatest asset. So how can you, as the person who's delivering the service, amplify that this year? What cracks do you have in your systems and procedures that are maybe are faulty that you can start to fill? Because if you keep chasing the new marketing thing, if you keep chasing the new ad strategy, if you keep chasing this new thing, guess what? You're going to forget about the why and the how your business grew in the first place, which is people. Unless, of course, you sell products or you work totally just with technology and AI and you deal nothing with human beings, then you can disregard this podcast. But the reason why business becomes so fulfilling is because of people. Right? At least, again, from my perception of what I teach my students and my clients. So how can you serve your people better? Now, here's the thing. Service does not mean sacrifice. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you completely exhaust your energy, you sacrifice your values, you cross your parameters and boundaries just to please the client. It's important in the onboarding process to set parameters. For example, if you're enrolling someone into something, what does it look like to work with you? How do they contact you? Who should they not contact? How do they engage in the community? How do they sign up for things? How do they enroll into things? How do they maybe book sessions with you? How do they, if they have stuff happening between things, how do they get that handled? So make sure that you've got your structure set so that you can serve these people in the greatest way possible. And simultaneously, guess what? They get results. They're fulfilled. Your energy is taken care of. You're of integrity with them. They are of integrity with you. It can be a win-win. And you know what? When you help people, so focusing on this part, so we've got the consciousness, we've got holding people accountable, both you and the people you hire, vice versa, using your voice. From the people side of things, when you do that, your results and your business explodes. And this is something that I really honed in on in 2024, which is why I believe that my coaching business grew 182% and my chiropractic business grew 42%, which both of those numbers are pretty high for industry standards, and they beat out the stock market. That's for sure. They definitely beat inflation. And the reason why I feel and know what I've looked at, and I asked myself is what were some of the key elements that made that shift? And number one, I started to look at where am I maybe doing things that are distracting me from delivering results to people, and also asking my clients feedback and saying, hey, what more can I do for you? And it's okay if you ask that question and there's things that maybe feel right now unreasonable or you just don't have the capacity. You're still asking them for their feedback and they're going to value that. So one, I looked at things that were distracting me and really honing in on like, what are the top 3 to 5 things that are helping me grow and helping my clients get the best results? I doubled down on that. I also looked at where can I clean up some of my systems and procedures and where can I rebuild things? So come October of 2024, kind of into November 2024, I allowed my business to start to go down intentionally. I said, you know what? I'm no longer taking on people in this capacity because to me, I am not doing them a service. I feel like the results I'm creating are fragmented. And right now I'm speaking a little bit more to my coaching business. If you are a practice member, trust me, I apply the same thing within the office, especially helping my team deliver better results. My team show up for you even better. So training them to do that. But in my coaching business, asking, you know, how can I help them get better results? Because the way that I feel like I was taking on clients, although it was great in the beginning, I started to see gaps in their results. I started to feel like I was just giving them the ingredients without giving them the actual full recipe. So I said, how can I create something that I give them the recipe where they become the best creators in their life and there's less dependence on me. There's less time that we need together and they get even better results. So I started to revamp everything behind the scenes in my coaching business. And that happened was starting to happen in October and November. And to be honest, it was a little bit scary. And I said, you know what, this is for the greater good of their results. This I know is for their longevity. This is for my longevity. This is for my sustainability in my business, as well as the sustainability in their life and helping them get even more extraordinary changes, which really is a process of helping people remember who they are and why they're on this planet. And so that was a couple major things that I did at the end of 2024, because I asked myself, I don't want to become that person. Or rather, I've seen people in certain professions that I'm in, certain businesses that I'm in, completely exhaust themselves, completely burn out, and still not be able to serve their clients, which is one of the most fulfilling things to me. And so taking that as feedback and say, okay, I see how that way and that model has worked in the past. And simultaneously, I see a new era emerging where there's a partnership that's created among leaders and people who are following the leaders, and ending and dissolving fragmented leadership. This is something I go deep into in Project Lioness, which we talk about embodied leadership archetypes as well as distorted leadership archetypes. And one of my values is leadership and being an embodied teacher, being an embodied entrepreneur that can sense when it's time to make a pivot, when it's time to make a shift, because I can see the lack of sustainability within myself and my clients. And that's something I like to teach within those programs. So really looking at these things, not only from my self perspective, but how it's going to help deliver for my clients in an even greater capacity. So I wanted to come on here in this stream of consciousness. As you can tell, I'm definitely energized and definitely inspired by this, and really just say, you know what? I want to talk about this. I feel like this is really important, especially for the entrepreneurs that listen to this, is make sure that you don't get caught up in those flashy object syndromes, flashy, what's out there. If it seems too good to be true and you're more on the fantasy side and you see all the benefits, but you don't see any drawbacks, that is a recipe and a feedback loop to pay attention to. I don't want to say a recipe for a disaster, but you're definitely going to get some humbling moments in those experiences. If you feel super, super hyped and you don't go into your logical brain and your prefrontal cortex, again, you're going to get the feedback loops down the road. And I myself have experienced that as a younger entrepreneur, getting super hyped about something, investing all my money or investing a good chunk of money, and then realizing, oh, wow, I put this mentor, I put this person on such a high pedestal that I diminished my own gifts. Now, on the flip side of all of this, mentorship is really important. So if you haven't listened to the mentorship podcast that is further back in Project Lioness, I highly recommend listening to that. I don't remember the title off the top of my head, but it's all about, how to hire a mentor and the I think it's called 3 levels of mentorship. And it really helps you discern how to hire people that are in alignment with your values and not get caught up by the flashy object syndrome. So I'm here to speak it out loud that I think gone are the days, at least for me, of getting caught up in marketing hype without having and holding those leaders accountable to deliver on the back end of what they're saying. And when you can really own this, again, if you're on the mentor side, if you're on the entrepreneur side, if you're on the coach side, whatever that is, let this be an opportunity for you to be like, you know what? Where am I maybe distracted by things that feel like a shiny object, that feel like I'm just chasing new things, that are distracting me from actually cleaning up my systems and procedures, from being a steward? I talked about that in the last podcast episode. Where are you not being a steward of your people? Where are you not being a steward of your own life? Where are you not being a steward of your health? Or where do you have some stewardship skills? They're calling to be amplified, because the thing is, nothing's missing. You are a steward of some things. It may just be on other elements of your life, and you've kind of forgotten about things over here. Or you feel blind to things over here. That is how you grow your business, my friends. I promise you. And the more I lean into this, the more I see things expand in my life. So allow this to be an invitation. Allow this to be a Dr. Mel Project Lioness consciousness download. As you can tell, I am fired up today. It is 2025, and we are here to ultimately help transform trauma to triumph for all of humanity. And as all of you know, for Project Lioness, this is season 3. Be ready for this type of energy, right? I am here to deliver, to serve you, to teach you even more. Hopefully come on here even more in 2025, because I realize I do love teaching, and this is just one way that I can transmit teaching and healing and energy and information. Even though you're not in front of me, I know I'm coming through your earbuds or I'm coming through you on YouTube, but we all know if you're a fan of this, or maybe you're new, welcome to the Project Lioness podcast, that this is all about helping you reclaim your life, pursue your purpose, and ultimately play all out. Fucking play, right? Play the game, own the game. That's what Project Lioness is here to teach you. So with that, I love you all, and I will see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Thank you for joining the Project Lioness podcast. Did you find value in today's episode? Help us impact the lives of others by sharing this podcast with someone you know who would resonate and benefit from the Project Lioness message. Excited to hear more? We invite you to subscribe on whatever platform you're tuning in on. And we'd be so grateful for you to leave us a review about what you enjoy most, as well as what you'd like to hear more of. Thank you so much for all of your support. Sincerely yours in power, purpose, and play. Dr. Mel with the Project Lioness podcast. Keep rising, keep roaring, and keep inspiring.